I asked you on Instagram one fragrance for the rest of your life. So let's see which one did you pick for few categories. This is Clemence, I talk about fragrance, and today let's go to your favorite fragrance for the rest of your life. I did manually the votes and it took me quite some time. And remember, this is the fragrance community that is voting, so usually the votes are a little surprising. Well, that's what I thought since I'm doing those kind of videos. We're gonna do the top 3 in designer masculine, the top 3 in designer feminine, and unisex niche fragrances. Everything is unisex to me. A little bit of category for this video because, I don't know, it's always interesting. So a lot of you guys didn't enjoy that topic. As you can see, people were screaming that we can't choose one fragrance for the rest of our life. I know. Me the first, it's really difficult. The designer category, but masculine range. Before doing the top 3, this is fragrances that came back a lot was the Acqua di Gio range, especially Profumo, or gentleman range in general. There was the woody version, there was the Réserve Privée, what was there? There was the Gentleman Society that I've seen quite a few as well. And surprisingly, I didn't see any Sauvage. Every time I do those kind of videos, Sauvage is always coming through, so wow! The top 3 category, the fragrance that came back the most, and I'm actually quite surprised, it's Versace Eros. Despite being one of the fragrances the most popular, I don't really enjoy that fragrance particularly. I think it's great, like for its public, a younger audience to me, a little bit fun for me, give me a vibe that is quite clubbing. I've really never been a fan of Versace fragrance just because I find them a bit not as qualitative as some other designer personally, but that's my opinion. It's a vanilla that is fresh and spicy, especially with mint note, lots of cedar and vanilla in the dry down. So it's like a sweet but nicely balanced. You don't want something complicated, that's a great one to go for. I personally wouldn't recommend it myself because I think a lot of channels already recommended it, so I'm not gonna recommend the same and the same again and again. For the rest of your life though, like would you wear Versace Eros all the time? I was actually surprised. Number 2 in this category is YSL Y, and I have to say I'm really happy to see this one. For me, YSL Y is a very serious composition. I would say it's quite versatile in a way that I would probably wear that in kind of a professional view. It's a compliment getter, and I can see why. I personally really like this one personally, but I always love like YSL fragrance. I don't know why. I find them super easy, but easy to love as well. You've got some apple in the start, so don't ask me which version because no one said the version on this one is YSL Y, so you know you have to discover. I did a video to compare all the YSLs Y, so you can always go to that. I will put that in the description for you if you want a bit of help on that. If you don't want it, that's okay. But you know it's that. Top 1 of this category, the fragrance that everyone would choose for the rest of their life, and I had to say compared to the two number 2 and number 3, this one was everywhere. Like a lot of vote for this one that I didn't have space in my page anymore. It's Dior Homme Intense. So there was a lot of Dior Homme Parfum too, but mostly it was Dior Homme Intense. I'm really happy to see that because since Dior Homme Intense, you know that they changed the whole line. Dior Homme Intense didn't change as much. It changed, but not as much as, for example, Dior Homme, which for me I prefer. I'm an old twat, so I prefer. It's the fragrance that I advise the most to my male friends. Mostly everyone's gonna like that. I love the fact that it's a bit enveloping. The iris in this set, I think it's very sensual. I think it's polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it, but for me it's very sensual on the man. I find it charismatic, but at the same time kind of approachable, and it gives me that sensation of cuddle, you know, and I absolutely love that. It projects beautifully as well because of this powdery aspect. Hey, actually, you didn't put any Terre d'Hermès. My gosh, I didn't even see Terre d'Hermès. That's not good, guys. I would have put Terre d'Hermès first, sorry. Next category is the designer but for ladies. So what does the lady wants to keep for their life? There was a lot of names that came back. I saw, surprisingly, a lot of Bulgari Omnia range, which is a range I used to like, but like 10 years ago, I used to have Omnia Indian Garnet that I used to wear a lot during holidays that I used to love. There was Omnia Crystalline as well that I can't remember. So I have to try that again. Tell me if you try that in the comments. There was a lot of number 5. Crazy lot of number 5, which I'm really happy about. And with a dominance with the Eau Première line, which is the most powdery and I would say one of the most modern and romantic. Number 5, if you're not too fan of number 5, you might like this. There was a lot of Terracotta from Guerlain, one of my favorite summer holiday fragrance. I love this. And a lot of L'Interdit Rouge, which is one of the most sexy designer and actually great quality, great scent that I would recommend a lot as well. The number 3 is actually not surprising at all. People chose Coco Mademoiselle are their favorite scent of all time. Hello, have a good day. What's the fragrance of the day?
Please, no.
Allez!
I take this.
Which one? Which one? Mulberry Fig. Mulberry Fig Florist. That's the fragrance of the day. Bye!
This one you don't put.
Yeah, of course.
Please.
Yes. Love you. Bye. I'm definitely not cutting this. Freeze Coco Mademoiselle. I would say it's normal. I think it's one of the most sold fragrance for ladies ever in terms of feminine fragrance that gives something, a perfect balance between freshness with orange, fresh notes like this, and something a little bit more intense with patchouli, which is an ingredient that is really in the ground, the base of Coco Mademoiselle. It's great. And the version that was given the most actually is Coco Mademoiselle Intense, my favorite of the range, with the bedtime one actually that I really like. I don't know if you tried that with this rosy water scent. It's beautiful. Anyway, so this one is an overdose of Tonkabin, so roasted vanilla-like scent. If I didn't have any fragrance, that would be a great one to have. I'd be a bit sad personally because my head is full of this fragrance, but most chosen fragrance was Alien, Thierry Mugler. I loved Alien more than Angel in the Thierry Mugler range. Thierry Mugler is for the one that wants to have something extravagant, beast mode, long-lasting, powerful, unique. It's a lot of white flowers, a beautiful blend of white flowers, and I absolutely love this. It's creamy, it's intense, it smells like an alien. There's nothing that looks like it in the designer range, and I love it. It's really polarizing. Again, it's a fragrance, or you hate it or you love it. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my god, that was a big one. One is a huge surprise, and I think most of you guys, when you say one fragrance for the rest of your life, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to basics so I don't make any mistake. And you all went back for Samsara from Guerlain. I really want to get a bottle of Samsara. Actually, it's been a few years that I'm like, oh, I need some trusty designer more in my collection because I have an invasion of niche fragrance, but I like my trusty designer, and Samsara is one of them. Actually, last time I smelled it was at a wedding. Someone from my family sprayed that and I could smell her. She was at the beginning of the church and I could smell her from there, so she stole the show. Because there's some iris sandalwood. Usually this blend of fragrance create like a beautiful trail. You have a lot of ylang ylang, and this flower is bomb. Alongside tuberose, this is the most too powerful fragrance I think in the game, one of them. And the advantage of putting ylang ylang is like my t-shirt today. It's very yellow, it's very solar, it's full of life, and it's intense, and it can even give something solar close to tropical scent in the scent. You have peachy note as well, woody scent, so it gives character, it gives sexy time, it gives elegance as well. I think it's a masterpiece of a fragrance. You can find like very decent price now for Samsara, so I might do that. But thank you guys for reminding me how beautiful is that fragrance. The niche category now, and I chose to do a top 5 of this one because there was much more niche that you mentioned than designer. Number 5 is Musk Therapy by Initio Parfum Privé. It's a fragrance that I like, but I never be that much passionate to go buy the bottle. And I actually changed my mind a lot about this fragrance because the trend is really on clean scent. This is exactly what it is. It's a citrus with white musk, and it feels very clean, very comfortable. It feels a bit effortless basically. Despite being just a white musk scent with some citrus, blackcurrant, it's actually great and powerful. But this is something like if you try Initio, like Parfum de Marly, it's the same like, you know, vibe because they're on the same umbrella. You have a powdery sillage, so usually those fragrances, they are having a great projection, and it's nice, you know, like if you want to keep one fragrance, you need to make sure that it lasts on you at least minimum, you know. Is Lune Féline by Atelier des Ors. So surprised that people chose this one. This is not versatile at all to me. Like it's beast, it's sexy, it's nearly like there's something like primitive, like nearly sexual to it. It's really intense, very balsamic, very woody. It's got something a bit animalic, a lot of cinnamon. For me, it's in the same range of, for example, Musk Ravageur. Even more this one because it's even more balsamic. It feels a bit dirty in the side. It's a fragrance I always loved. I never bought it because I'm kind of, and it was in my wish list, but it made its way out. This fragrance is so hard to wear. I don't know where to wear it. Like probably like I would wear it like in an event or if I'm going out, if you see what I mean. When you want to stand out, I think it's a great one. Number 3 is Naxos from Serjoff. I'm not surprised at all. I was expecting to see this fragrance. Definitely wear it more when it's cold, winter, fall, because it's very enveloping. It's quite heady sometimes actually, but the balance is perfect. It's a honey scent with tobacco, but mainly you can smell a lot of lavender that really balance it to me. And to have something sticky like honey, really balanced and smooth. On a man, for me, it gives something like a bit gentleman, but very unique and not old-fashioned. It really stands out against anything I have in my collection. Number 2 is Maison Francis Kurt Jean Grand Soir. Not surprised again. The classic ambery fragrance with a little bit of a waxy tone, resinous but not too resinous. It's not too fresh because there's some fresh note in there that you can smell. It's not too sweet, it's not too woody, it's not too intense. For me, it's perfectly unisex because it has a little bit more of that woody vibe in there. It may be more suitable for some men and maybe a bit more difficult for women to wear it or for whatever gender you are. But like for me, it's really easy. It's the basic amber. And when I say basic, it's not a bad thing. It's just the amber is so perfectly blended. Don't go for Grand Soir if you're expecting something extremely unique. It has that luminosity in the scent that doesn't make it too deep. I find it's the perfect dinner date fragrance. It gives you that charm. And then number 1 is again the Maison Francis Kurt Jean. It's again a vanilla-like scent and it's gentle fruity gold, a scent that I'm daring to add in my collection many times, but then I fell in love with another fragrance, and then I forget. Most glamorous version of Grand Soir. It's a little bit more feminine to me because it's sweeter. That's what I found. It's more vanilla-like. I find this femininity, this glamorous vibe that is incredible. Every time I go to Ccfragrances, I spray this fragrance. I know I smell amazing. I had a huge amount of compliment every time I wore this fragrance. I just find the kind of, do you know what it makes me think about? This is very strange, but you know, I think of a baroque living room, very simple with barely no furniture and huge light, you know, like the beautiful candelabra. I don't know how you say that in English, no idea. But this is not crazy unique. It doesn't use ingredients that you never seen before. You're gonna recognize that scent. It could be heady for some people because sometimes it is for me actually, but I find it very smooth. It feels like a bit like satin, like a dress, very smooth. It's enveloping, it's so beautiful. It's one of the most glamorous fragrance I've ever smelled, to be honest. This is the fragrance that you're gonna keep for the rest of your life. I'm actually nicely surprised to see, of course, popular fragrance in niche and designer, but also some good classic. Personally, if I would keep one fragrance for the rest of my life, I wouldn't even go for my signature, you see. Actually, maybe yes. It's really hard. If I had no choice, I would pick number 5. I wore number 5 since I'm a kid. I wore number 22, the, I would say, evolved version of number 5 after. It's been following me in my handbag everywhere. Like if you meet me in the street and you ask me what's in my bag, do that next time if you find me. I'm sure I can pull you out a number 5. It's always in my bag. Let me know in the comment if you have any idea for what kind of question I could ask you next time. I just like it because it gets me out a bit of my comfort zone. I can talk about fragrance that I'm not used to talk about and not used to review. So, and then it's also nice to give you like some power in the video. Voilà guys, power! Oh my god, every time I say that, no! Oh my god, it's like a disease, you know, it goes out. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. It would be a pleasure to welcome you here as always. And you can hit the like button. This is nothing for you, but for me it means a lot, and it also pushes the video a lot. So thank you so much. Have a lovely day and see you soon. Get to know your short-term friends. You only talk to someone. Je t'emmène dans mon paradis bleu.